Hello, fellow anti-novelists. We are back for another installment of our Developing Your Plot and How to Plot a Novel. So let's jump right into it. What I've got here for you is what I call the story sketch. All right, down the left margin, I have my printout of my plot cheat sheet with the 4 acts and the major couple of plot points that generally appear within each of the 4 acts. Over here, I've added a little color and flavor to what you're going to do in order to fill these out. So in order to create a story sketch, you need to think of your story in terms of 4 things. The opening is where you're developing what I call the offering. The offering is where you're inviting your reader into the story. You're making them some kind of a promise, some kind of a gesture that brings them in to want to read your story. That's the offering. In the middle, you've got Acts 2 and 3. We know sometimes Acts 2 and 3 can become the muddle in the middle, so we want to keep that really concise as we can in the planning stage. So there's 2 parts to this. There's the discoveries and there's the milestones. These are the things that help to fulfill the offering, right? You're using the things that your characters are discovering and the milestones that are marking their progress through the story as fulfilling the offering that you've made in the beginning of the story. The final thing is the settlement. The settlement is the big win. It's the big reveal. It's making good on your offering by delivering what you promised to deliver by the end of the book. All right. So let's look at a couple of components that you can use to start with. First, explore plot archetypes. Decide what kind of plot are you working in? What kind of story are you writing? Is it a heist? If it's a heist, you may have to assemble a team. Therefore, you're going to create and build out multiple characters. You're going to have to solve some challenges, presumably. You know, if they're going to have to make the plan, execute the plan, get the stuff, and so forth. Those are all pieces that can become bullet points, which you use to start filling out the milestones of your story. Is it a romance? All right. What kind of romance is it? Who is involved? How are they going to meet? What are you going to do to get them together? What conflicts and challenges are you going to put in their way? Again, those are bullet points that you're going to start filling out. Is it an underdog story? Is it a rags to riches? Is it a have not to have? Make a decision about if you're writing an underdog, start working on your character development and figure out who is this person and what do they need to achieve over the course of the story. Are you writing a hero's journey? Everyone has written tons and tons about writing a hero's journey, so I am not going to go super into the weeds on that, but suffice it to say, if your hero is going to begin here and they're going to arc through the story to end up over here, how are you going to get them there with challenges, conflicts, momentum, and so forth? And then I've just noted a travel log. Travel logs don't really get enough attention unless you're talking about maybe in the science fiction fantasy genre, but including a travel log, particularly if you like writing about landscape, pastoral, if you like writing that kind of description, include a travel log because I just think they don't get enough attention. Then I've made a second note, which is to explore character. So as you're starting to think about what are you offering your reader in this story? Are you offering them a romance? Are you offering them taking a long journey with a discovery at the end and a character arc that changes over the course of it? What are you offering them? And then what are the steps? What are the discoveries and the milestones that you need to meet along the course of your story in order to deliver the settlement, which is making good on the offer that you made at the beginning of your story? So I hope that helps give you a high-level view of the kinds of things that you want to start thinking about, particularly if you're at the beginning of writing a story. A novel, that is. It could work for a short story, certainly, but that's a different subject. So if you're thinking about how am I going to get started? How am I going to dive into this book? What do I need to include? Just break it down into these 4 simple things. What are you offering your audience? Then you'll come over here and the next thing that we'll do is we'll go one by one through the 8 major plot points and I will walk you through how to take these quick sketched out notes and start developing them into the points of your story. So I hope that was helpful. Feel free to swipe this. This is something I came up with for you. This is just how I think about my books as I write them. So hopefully it will be another tool in your toolkit. I will see you in the next video where we will start one by one breaking down the 8 plot points, and we will start plugging details into your story as I walk you through some of mine and give you some examples. So take care, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.